Good day, my scholars. Welcome to my school channel. Right here, we'll be tackling literature in English past questions for JAMB year 2018. Don't go anywhere, stay with us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. So we'll be tackling questions 16 to 35. Now let's begin with question 16. The question is based on Bayo Adebowale's Lonely Days. Yaremi's only son is dash. Option A, Alani. Option B, Wande. Option C, Olode. Option D, Deyo. The answer to this question is option A, Alani. Do not forget that Lonely Days is about African women, the repression and humiliation suffered by African women as regards or according to the dictates of custom and tradition. Okay, so do not forget that Yaremi is the protagonist or the leading character in this text, and she has two daughters, Shegi and Wura. She has a son, Alani, and a grandchild, Woye. And we know that one day is her son-in-law married to Shegi, and Olode is a place where Wade comes from. Okay, we can see this in page 4. Then Deyo is the bosom friend of Ajumobi, who is the deceased husband to Yaremi. So the answer to this question is option A, Alani. Question 17. The question is based on William Shakespeare Othello. Ill-starred wench, pale as thy smoke, when we shall meet at the compt. The device used in the line above is dash. Option A, simile. Option B, pun. Option C, metaphor. Option D, paradox. The answer to this question is simile. Do not forget that simile is the comparison between two things, and we have like and as peculiar to simile as a figure of speech. Now let's take a look at the statement. We can see the use of as. So Othello made the statements in page 109, Act 5, Scene 2. So he made this statement. It was actually mourning Desdemona after realizing that he had been tricked by Iago. So we see that this statement means you are as pale as your knight's gown. Okay, that's what this statement means. And we see that as has been used, which is peculiar to simile. So therefore, simile is the answer to this question. Question 18. The question is based on William Shakespeare's Othello. Othello kills Desdemona because the dash. A, farmer is jealous. Option B, farmer's race is insulted. Option C, latter is a witch. Option D, latter is an idol. Okay, the answer to this question is option A, farmer is jealous. But first of all, let's talk about farmer and latter. When we talk about farmer, we are talking about the first name, and latter we mean the second character or name. So the farmer means Othello. So Othello is jealous. We can find this in page 56, Act 3, Scene 3. We see that Iago tricks him to believe that Desdemona is having an affair with Cassio. So Othello becomes jealous and he kills Desdemona. So in page 56, we see Iago saying, "Beware, O Lord, of jealousy." So that was his intention. Okay, he wanted to make him jealous so that he would eventually do something very, very bad or awful. So option A is the correct answer to this question. Question 19. The question is based on William Shakespeare's Othello. Brabantio is opposed to the relationship between Othello and Desdemona because dash. Option A, it prefers Iago. Option B, Othello is a Moor. Option C, Rodrigo woos her first. Option D, Desdemona is too young. The answer to this question is Othello is a Moor. But do not forget that Brabantio is the father of Desdemona. Now the question says, why doesn't he want the relationship between Othello and Desdemona? Now, it's because Othello is a Moor. Now, what does a Moor mean? A Moor is a black person. Okay, a Moor is a member of the northwestern African Muslim people. So he is black. That is the reason. Now, when you read Act 1, Scene 1, we see that Brabantio panics on hearing that his daughter has eloped with Othello, and immediately wishes that Rodrigo marries her instead. Now, this is a character that he refuses initially. Rodrigo was a character or a suitor he refuses initially. So we see that when you read further, you see that Brabantio attacks Othello eventually, and he declares that it wasn't possible for his daughter to elope or run off with him because he's black, and it wouldn't be possible after she has refused so many suitors, only or unless if she has been bewitched. Okay, so this was the statement of Brabantio, and we see that the reason enforced is because he is black. The reason was because of his background. Okay, so option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 20. The question is based on William Shakespeare's Othello. Soft you, a word or two before you go. I have done the state some service, and they knew no more of. Option A, traveling. Option B, sick. Option D, dying. Option D, eloping. The question here is, what was the intention of the speaker? Okay, so that is the only way we can relate the question. What was the intention of the speaker of the statement? And that is, the answer is dying. Okay, so we can find the statement in page 111, Acts 5, scene 2. So Othello made this statement after all the commotion, after killing Desdemona and realizing that he had been tricked. His wife was actually faithful. He had the intention to kill himself. Okay, and we see that Lodovico ordered Othello be taken away, but then he stops to make the statement, more like a final statement before killing himself. So the only word we can relate to, according to the context or the situation in that particular scene, is dying. Not traveling. Nobody was traveling. Nobody was sick. Nobody was eloping, but someone died and somebody was planning to kill himself. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Do not forget to take practice questions with our simulated JAMB CBT past questions. All you need to do is click on the link in the description below. It takes you to the Myschool website. There you can download Myschool mobile app for your Android phones and Myschool software for your computers and laptops. So go ahead and download and start practicing this question. Now moving on to question 21. The question is based on William Shakespeare's Othello. O heaven, how got she out? O treason of the blood! Father, from thence trust not your daughter's minds. By what you see them act, is there not charms by which the property of youth and maidhood may be abused? The speaker of the excerpt above is dash. Option A, Brabantio. Option B, Othello. Option C, Gratiano. Option D, Roderigo. The answer to this question is Brabantio, option A. So Brabantio made the statement in page 6, Act 1, Scene 1. Okay, so what this statement means is he was actually lamenting about his daughter eloping or leaving the house without his permission, eloping with Othello. So option A is the correct answer to this question. I believe you're enjoying this content. If so, do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button and tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos. Question 22. Use the following excerpt to answer the question. I wonder how long you awful parasite shall share with me this little bed and make me from my sweet dreams be lost by sucking blood from my poor head. Mumburu to bedbug. The lines are an example of a dash. Option A, limerick. Option B, lampoon. Option C, light verse. Option D, light opera. Okay, the answer to this question is light verse. Okay, the best answer to this question is light verse. Light verse is a humorous poem that talks about a serious subject, a very serious subject, and the subject here is parasites. Okay, so we see the poet addressing or talking about the parasite. Okay, about the hazardous effect of the parasite bite and all of that. So option C is the correct answer to this question. However, limerick is an humorous poem consisting of 5 lines. Okay, so this is not a limerick. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have just 4 lines here. Okay, so we are going to be treating the poem as it is here, not the original one. Okay, so we have lampoon. Lampoon is a direct criticism towards a person or a thing, and we have light opera. Light opera is a short musical poem. Okay, so option C is the best answer to this question. Question 23. Use the following excerpt to answer the question. I wonder how long you awful parasite shall share with me this little bed and make me from my sweet dreams be lost by sucking blood from my poor head. Umbure to bedbug. The most dominant figure of speech in the excerpt is dash. Option A, metaphor. Option B, simile. Option C, personification. Option D, hyperbole. Option C is the correct answer to this question. We see that the parasite is given two attributes in this statement or this excerpt. Two attributes that is peculiar to a human attribute. So we have sharing his bed and making him lost in his sweet dreams. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Question 24. Your head is like a drum that is beating for spirit. Your ears are like the fans used for blowing fire. The line above are a good example of dash. Option A, caricature. Option B, ridicule. Option C, satire. Option D, lampoon. The best answer to this question is caricature. Caricature is a picture, a description, or the imitation of a person in which characters of that person or that thing or that description is exaggerated to create comic effect, okay, to make people laugh, okay, so it's humorous. So option A is the correct answer to this question. Question 25. How can I look at Oyo and say I ate long shiny cars? How can I come to the children and despise international schools and comes and the family sees Jesus Christ in him? The feeling conveyed by the speaker above is one of dash. Option A, anger. Option B, alienation. Option C, hope. Option D, despair. The answer to this question is despair. Now, what does despair means? One word to describe despair or to tell the meaning of despair is hopelessness, when you are hopeless, okay? So now, let's look at the statement. How can I look at Oyo and say I ate shining cars? How can I come to the children and despise international school? Okay, so this is a poet or this is a person that has to accept things the way they are. He has to flow with what is tagged as normal. Okay, so he's hopeless. There's nothing that he can do. He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a say. He just has to accept things. So this is hopelessness. This is a state of despair. So option D is the correct answer to this question. Question 26. Hide me now when night children haunt the earth. Wole Soyinka's Night. Night children in the stanza above reflect the consciousness of dash. Option A, birds. Option B, armed robbers. Option C, animals. Option D, spirit brains. Now, this is an excerpt from the poem titled Night by Wole Soyinka. Now, let's take a look at this excerpt. It says, hide me now when night children haunt the earth. Now, this statement, the poet is asking to be protected from night children. Now, night children will suggest or signify so many possibilities. We could have nocturnal animals at night whose cries can be very terrifying. We could have birds or other kind of animals. Okay, we could have armed robbers. Armed robbers usually walk under the covering of the night. Okay, that is when they operate at night. And then we could have evil forces or spirit brains who work at night. They operate at night too. Okay, so it's open to different possibilities. So what's the answer now? Let's look at the statement again. It says, hide me now when night children haunt. Now, when we think of the word haunt, we think of ghosts, we think of spirits. So if you feel the same way too, we can conclude that the correct answer to this question is option D, spirit beings. Okay, option D is the correct answer to this question. Question 27. Serrated shadows through dark leaves till bathed in warm suffusion of your dapped cells. Sensation pained me faceless, silent as night thieves. Wole Soyinka's Night. Okay, so this is the fourth stanza of the poem by Wole Soyinka titled Night. Now, the dominant mood in the line above is one at dash. Option A, apprehension. Option B, defiance. Option C, joy. Option D, indifference. The answer to this question is apprehension. Apprehension is the anxiety or the fear you get when you feel that something bad is about to happen. Now, when you read this stanza again, you're afraid that something bad is about to happen, especially this last line, sensation paid me faceless, silent as night thieves. Okay, we feel that something bad is about to happen. But then when we talk about defiance is an open resistance or a bold resistance to something. So when we talk about joy, we're talking about happiness. Okay, a feeling of happiness, great happiness and all. Indifference is lack of concern. So from my explanation, we can see that apprehension is the best answer to this question. Question 28. The drum overwhelmed the guns. J.P. Clark casualty. The poet in the excerpts above uses option A, litosis, option B, symbolism, option C, onomatopoeia, option D, alliteration. The answer to this question is symbolism. Symbolism is the representation of something, okay, using something to represent an idea or another concept. That is symbolism. Now, this is a powerful poem by J.P. Clark that talks about the 1967 Civil War or the Biafran War between the federal government and the Biafrans, okay. So, the drum here means, it signifies or symbolizes the appeal, the emotional appeal made by both sides to win support from other countries, okay. So, the guns here means the physical war going on at home. So what does this statement mean? It means that the emotional appeal or the cry for support by from both sides became more important than the physical war going on at home. There was a war, there was bloodshed, people were dying, people were suffering. But then appeal for support became very important to both parties. A lot of people were lobbying for countries and countries with superpowers to be on their sides, and they forgot the main issue, the main mission to fight for peace or to establish peace. Okay, so you can imagine two people fighting and then calling other people to interfere. It will get to a point where the subject matter will be shifted. Okay, there will be a shift in the subject matter, and then something else will just come up, and that is what happened. So that's the explanation to the statement. At the time, the drum started overwhelming or surpasses the guns, okay, the physical war, the cry for emotional support, wanting some countries to support one side became very much important than the war going at home. So this poem talks about everybody being casualties of this particular war. So option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 29. They do not see the funeral pyres at home eating up the forest. J.P. Clark's casualty. The imagery created in the above excerpt is achieved through dash. Option A, metaphor. Option B, personification. Option C, synecdoche. Option D, metonymy. The answer to this question is personification. Do not forget, personification is giving the attributes of a human being to an inanimate object. Okay, so we can see the eating up here. Okay, it paints the picture of dead bodies or funerals, okay, eating up the forest, okay, taking a greater part of something considered valuable. Okay, so you paint a picture of funerals eating the forest, like one eating a food. So this is the imagery created, and J.P. Clark is able to create this image by using personification. The controversy with this question is there are elements of metonymy. Metonymy means referring to something by a name closely associated with it. So we think of forest as land. Okay, it's associated to land. But then the image created, okay, the image created, that means taking a larger part of something considered valuable. It is expressed or created through the use of personification, eating up. Okay, so option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 30. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, I've suffered greatly. A.L. Tennyson's Ulysses. The line above informed the reader that the poet, option A, is determined to suffer. Option B, as his poetic imagination kindled. Option C, will cure a sore mood. Option D, will not drink much. The answer to this question is option B. But first and foremost, let's talk about Odysseus. Now, in Greek methodology, Odysseus is the great-grandson of Hermes, and he is known for his intelligence, his leadership skills, as well as his wit, that is his good sense of judgment. Now, he is also famous. Odysseus is also famous for his 10 years journey after the Trojan War, which he embarks on after the Trojan War. Now, Ulysses is the Latinized form of the name Odysseus. Now, this statement is made by Ulysses in this poem by Tennyson. And from this statement, we can interpret it as this. So Ulysses still yearns to travel like he used to. He enjoys He enjoyed every bit of his traveling experience. He enjoyed every moment spent traveling, and even when he's suffering, he enjoyed it, according to him, and it brings him a lot of joy, and he feels he should not be stopped from doing what he feels makes life worth living. Okay, so from this we can interpret it as this, as his poetic imagination rekindled. Okay, so we see a character in this poem who still wants to travel, who still wants to travel, even if it meant him suffering. Okay, so option B is the correct answer to this question. Question 31. He who writes a prose is a dash. Option A, poet. B, writer. C, author. D, actor. The answer to this question is option C, author. Okay, he who writes a prose is referred to an author. Okay, so a poet is a person who writes a poem. A writer is ambiguous. It could be used for any of this. So an author is one who writes a prose. An actor is one who acts on stage. Okay, so option C is the correct answer to this question. Do you have several questions you would like to ask? You can go ahead and ask your question by using the link in the description below. Click on this link, it takes you to the Myschool website. There you can ask as many questions as possible, and solutions will be provided to you within a short period of time. Now, moving on to question 32. In drama, the protagonist is dash. Option A, the writer of the drama. Option B, the leading character. Option C, the nice guy. Option D, the actor. The answer to this question is option B, the leading character. The leading character is the best answer option to this question, because the leading character is referred to as the protagonist, is the character in which the story is built around or evolves around this particular character. Okay, it's considered, it takes a major role and synonymous to a nice guy, but then option B is the major or the correct answer to this question. Do you have better steps, explanations, or solutions to any of these questions? Please feel free to use the comment section below. Indicate the question and the solutions you would like to share. Question 33. Tension between the protagonist and the antagonist is called dash. Option A, climax. Option B, concrete. Option C, conflict. Option D, confidence. The answer to this question is conflict. Conflict is the struggle, the fight between the protagonist and the antagonist. The best answer to this question is conflict. Do not be deceived by the word tension as regards to the definition of climax. Climax is the tension built or the highest point in a story. Okay, but then tension between two characters. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Question 34. The phrase living death in a literary work is an example dash. Option A, synecdoche. Option D, prose. Option C, oxymoron. Option D, aside. The answer to this question is oxymoron. Do not forget, oxymoron is placing side by side two contradictory words or two opposite words. So we have living, death. Okay, living, death. Death is the opposite of living and vice versa. So option C is the correct answer to this question. Question 35. Group of lines are called dash. Option A, sentences. Option B, stanzas. Option C, danzas. Option D, line grouping. The correct answer to this question is stanzas. Okay, group of lines are peculiar to poems or poetry. Okay, so they are called stanzas. Option B, therefore, is the correct answer to this question. I believe you enjoyed this section because we've come to the end of this beautiful section. Do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and tap on the bell notification to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.